Republican my whole life. For the past 9 years, since I moved to Inver Grove Heights, I've been involved in my local Republican Party, both as a BPOU officer for the majority of those years, and more recently as the 2012 Republican candidate for state representative from my district. And it was during my campaign in 2012 for state rep that I first met and got to know my friend David Gerson. He dropped an immense amount of literature for me and the rest of our Republican candidates in 2012, and he also made hundreds of get-out-the-vote calls to support our candidates that year. So in the last year or so, I've spent more time with David Gerson than probably anyone else. So let me define my friend David Gerson for you. I think the most telling thing to me is that David had the fortitude. He was the one person with the fortitude to stand up for what he knew was right. You see, a lot of people were scared to take a stand and talk about the elephant in the room today. That our incumbent is not voting per our platform and is not upholding our values and representing us. Now, no one else stood up because they didn't feel that it was safe to do so. They thought that they would be labeled a traitor, and people would tell them, "You're just going to get a Democrat elected. Don't you know what you're doing? You're going to get Nancy Pelosi elected as the Speaker of the House." And I understand why people were afraid to take the stand that David's taken. Because I've heard over the last year, time and time again, numerous times, people make those comments to David at all of our events. But David knew that the paradigm had to be changed, and he addressed it head on. He was told that he would be ostracized, that he would be run out of his own party. But David stood firm to his principles, and he provided the impetus to progress this conversation that we're able to have today. See, David knew that the reason people are leaving our party, and consequently why we're losing elections, is that our incumbents are not staying true to our platform, and they're not representing our values. So, people stay home on election day, like 5 million conservatives did back in 2012. They stay home because they're disenfranchised with leaders who don't uphold our principles. And when 5 million conservatives stay home, we lose elections. And David understands it's a problem that people are leaving our party. It's a problem that leadership is maligning Tea Party groups and basically telling people they don't want the more conservative wing in the party. People are leaving, and behind David's leadership, we've made significant progress in our congressional district towards dealing with that elephant in the room. But even so, still today, many of our perceived leaders here in the 2nd Congressional District are afraid to take that stand that David's taken. And in fact, many of them, you will hear, will be up here to defend it. They will justify it. They'll say it's not a problem. But David has taken the stand, and courage and integrity define David Gerson. It's why he is the only person that I trust to represent me in the United States Congress. And I trust David Gerson because he has displayed the courage and the leadership right here in CD2 to stand up for our platform and our values. And I know that he will do the same thing in Washington, D.C. So I've seen David inspire this community, and I hope that you'll join me in endorsing and electing a true leader who will bring integrity back to our party and ask the difficult questions that need to be breached. My friend, David Gerson.